Today we're going to learn about restricted functions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw a couple of diagrams. I'll just use the quadratic. So I've got y equals x squared here. Now what I've got here, if we look at the domain of this particular function, y equals x squared, we can see that it belongs to all real numbers because it's got the arrows, so it's a continuous function. So we can say the domain x belongs to R, all real numbers. Now I'm going to use the same function, only this time I'm going to cut it off. Okay, so this is what we call a restricted function. So it's still the graph of y equals x squared. Oops, supposed to be a bit smoother. But the domain has been restricted. So for example, I might have comma minus 1 between x and 1. Well, this is 1 and this is minus 1. Okay, now it's the same function, but the domains have been changed. So usually, if we're going to use function notation for this, this might be called f of x equals x squared, and this one would be called g of x equals x squared, and then they have different domains. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a problem. Let's just have a very simple function. Let's suppose the function equals just x. So f of x equals x. And I'm going to restrict the domain. So let's have the domain going between minus 1 and 2. So we are included because we're using the square brackets. So the first thing I need to do is sketch this graph. And the question's going to be, tell me what the range is. So remember, when we sketch any graph, we're looking for any x and y intercepts and any important key features. Okay, so it's a straight line. We can see it's a straight line. So I need to obviously find out where the end points are as well, because we are including minus 1 and 2. Now the line y equals x, I know, goes through the origin. It's a very simple graph, looks like that. But obviously, because I'm restricting it, it stops whatever the y value is when x is minus 1 and whatever the y value is when x is 2. So I can find that because when y equals x, substituting those values in gives me what the y value is, or f of x on the y-axis. Finish that. So we know that y is minus 1 here and y is also 2 here. So let's talk about the range now. The range, remember, is all those y values that work for this function. So once we've sketched it, we can see that the y goes from minus 1 to 2, including those values, because it's closed circles. So we can say the range of this function is minus 1 to 2. And that's basically everything you need to know about restricted domains.